I actually started off in cannabis in 2017, I think, as a delivery driver during the medical cannabis days still. I was delivering door-to-door cannabis to obviously medical patients from like 8 p.m. until 2 a.m. like 6 days a week. It was crazy. And then when Prop 64 hit and, in 2018, I was really excited and wanted to start my own delivery business. So being as green as I went straight to the State Department, which is now the DCC, applied online, gave them all the applications, and they were like, great, you're all set. This is for like my own, license. They're like, just where's your permission to do business in your city? And I was like, my business license right here. They're like, no. There should be like a cannabis office. I was like, oh, what? Which, come to find out the DCR in Los Angeles, I had to go through them first before I could get a state license. So that was a funny little story how I thought I was going to get a license just right off the bat. Not so easy, but yeah. The DCR, well, I started with the DCR at the very beginning when they first started the social equity program. I didn't even know they were a new office in like 2019. So I applied for social equity on my own as a single person for the status. I received social equity status, and then they opened the lottery for the first 100 retail licenses. I didn't know that there was like the whole, it was opened at 10 o'clock and the first come, first serve sort of thing. Had no idea there were 1,600 applicants, had no idea that within the first half hour, if you didn't have your application, you didn't have a chance because there was like a month window. So I'm running around town trying to find a location so I can turn in my application. I got it in only like the 11th hour, like 11:59 p.m. on that night before. And I was like applicant number 867. I found out later. So I didn't stand a chance in that first lottery. And then came the second lottery, which happened, as we all know, with the audit and everything. Didn't stand a chance in that either, I realized, because it was to the next 100 applicants in a row. So feeling a little defeated, I actually found out that you didn't need a license to start a brand. And so I got to work I found this group on Instagram called Our Academy, Our Dream, which is a nonprofit group that had a 20-week cohort online to teaching you to the cannabis industry. So I went through all of that, and by the end of 20 weeks, I basically crafted Queen Mary, which was going to be a delivery service, but became a brand. I did actually. Most of the webinars, especially the lunches with Jason Killian, I think is his name. I'm usually logged into those very often. They're on my calendars and my schedule. There's always something to learn. There's always resources available. For the longest time, the one thing I would say about social equity, because I was unlicensed, a lot of the resources wasn't available to me. It was only available to people with licenses, which to me is a little strange because you qualified 1,600 people for social equity, but you only gave out a couple hundred licenses. So what are the rest of us supposed to do with resources? I was a little lucky in having resources available because of my brand that I launched, but like the pro bono wasn't it's stuff that's available to me now that I'm so happy to be able to apply for. Scholarships for the $50K to help with rent and all that stuff is really wonderful. I wish there was more resources available to social equity people trying to do other things in the business. The classes are great. Like if you're going to be a bud tender and learning and different things are wonderful. I know that there's through the DCR, they have like employment education and things which I recommend are wonderful. I actually, by the time I got involved more with the program, I knew most of the people from being out and about in the program, which was great. A lot of the mentors and stuff I'd seen at events. I try to show up as much as I can. And even though I'm still social equity and I'm utilizing a lot of the resources as much as I can, it's great to be able to also be a resource myself and connect people with other people. Like here's a social equity store, here's a buyer, here's a manufacturer. How can I help you? I try to give back as much as I can to social equity as social equity is given to me. Yes. So the Emerald Cup Awards, what I didn't know about in 2021, when I first, or 2022 last year, gosh, the years go by so fast. I hadn't heard of it. I didn't really know what it was. And then, so I had, on the recommendation of my manufacturer, was like, you should enter just cause. And I was like, okay, paid the fee, set my stuff up there, heard back a few months later that I had won. It was funny because last year for the awards assembly, which was here in Los Angeles at the Montalban, it was originally supposed to be with Green Street, and I had other plans, and then I wasn't going, and they called me like, you have to go, you won. We're not gonna tell you what place, but you placed, so you have to show up. So I was like, okay, I'll be there. And then this year was much different. It was, I had actually registered I was hoping to win. As you can see, this one says Emerald Cup Awards. This one is for the edibles for health conscious. It was actually a new category this year. A little birdie kind of had told me last year my edible brand is designed to provide a natural alternative to addictive prescriptions. So even though we are in the recreational cannabis space, my brand is designed to bridge the gap between medicinal and recreational. And so I have a lot of additives like rhodiola and B12 and different things that are natural vitamins to help assist in the effect of my edibles. And so the people at the Emerald Cup were like, this is kind of becoming a new trend, even though you seem to have been the first to put it out. They created this new category. And so I entered into it, and I'm so glad that I won, because I've kind of secretly felt like it was created because I entered and they didn't know what to do with me last year.